Star Trek: The Next Generation is a sci-fi television show that ran from 1987 to 1994. The show follows the crew of the Starship Enterprise in the 24th century as they explore the galaxy and encounter alien cultures. As they meet people from these alien cultures, conflicts arise that question cultural norms, including sex and gender. Star Trek shows some very interesting displays of sex, gender, and power.
It's true. You work with your females, harm them, and force them to wear clothing. Sickening.
Let's start with gender roles on Star Trek. It is important to remember that gender is a role we are given by society that tells us how we should act based on what sex we are. In a television show, those roles are given to the actors by the writers of the show. The writers have given each female character a strong role to play in Star Trek. The writers of Star Trek did not have to conform to our social norms when creating these female characters, which means that the characters can display strong masculine characteristics despite our social norms against masculine women. Star Trek proves that masculinity is not just for boys, because gender is not always a simple two-category division. The series dedicated several episodes to the issue of people who can change gender or who have no gender, and show what consequences that can have on how they are treated by society.
What right do you have to punish us? What right do you have to change us? What makes you think you can dictate how people love each other?
Even though the women in Star Trek have very strong roles, the men often have more power. Let's look closer at the senior staff of the Enterprise. The males not only outrank the females in number, but also in decision-making power. The men of the senior staff have roles like Captain, Chief of Security, and Chief Engineer. It is these positions that make decisions on what actions to take, and the ability to make decisions gives them power. Power is the ability to do what you want, despite the opposition, and the men of the Enterprise almost always get their way. Another way to see how men have more power than anyone else is to look at the power of choice. When female characters are faced with difficult family situations, the men often dictate what will be done and give the women almost no choice in the matter. If there is a woman with an unplanned pregnancy being forced into an arranged marriage or being kidnapped from family and friends, you can be sure there is a man forcing her to go through with it. The women are not without hope of control. There is a way they can achieve power, and this is through social location. Female characters on Star Trek are given great power by the writers when they are given a strong social location. Social location is a set of statuses that an individual occupies in society, and in this case, the Star Trek universe. A status is a socially defined position characterized by certain expectations, rights, and duties. In the Star Trek universe, a female with strong social location has the power to do what she wants, even when a man tries to get in her way.
Destroy the patient. Immediately.
Now you calm down.
If you won't take action, then I will.
Analyzing power struggles between men and women of the future in a nerdy sci-fi TV show is great if you're a sociologist. But what importance can it have for regular home viewers? Star Trek can help us question how we treat people of a different sex or gender. The show does this by taking the invisible cultural practices we don't see and acting them out in a way that makes them visible so we can say, is this good or bad? Star Trek also shows us a world where individuals aren't bound by current gender boundaries. Women can be masculine and be in positions of power. This is only the tip of the iceberg of issues covered on Star Trek. The social issues addressed on the show are many, and there are thousands of fans who can tell you that it is worth watching.